Brenda Davies, The Girl Behind the Gates, begins in the 1950s, when Nora Jennings, a young woman full of promise, falls in love and becomes pregnant outside of marriage. In a society dominated by rigid moral codes, her family and community condemn her. Instead of support, Nora is sent to a psychiatric hospital where she is labeled morally defective and confined behind locked gates. The novel portrays the harrowing reality of institutional life. Nora endures decades of neglect, abuse, and forced treatments, stripped of her freedom and identity. The hospital becomes a place of silence and despair, where women like her are hidden away for breaking societal rules rather than suffering genuine illness. Through Nora's perspective, readers witness the crushing weight of stigma, the erasure of individuality, and the devastating consequences of systemic cruelty. Yet even in confinement, Nora clings to hope. Her memories of love, her longing for freedom, and her quiet acts of resistance sustain her spirit. The narrative shifts decades later, when reforms in mental health care begin to dismantle such institutions. Nora, now elderly, is finally released. But freedom brings its own challenges. She must learn to navigate a world that has changed dramatically while confronting the trauma of her lost years. Supporting characters, fellow patients, nurses, and reformers add a richness, highlighting both the cruelty and compassion within the system. Their presence ensures Nora's journey is not only personal, but tied to the broader history of mental health care in Britain. Thematically, The Girl Behind the Gates explores stigma, resilience, and redemption. It is a story about confronting injustice, reclaiming identity, and discovering that even after decades of silence, the human spirit can endure. Davies' prose balances emotional intensity with historical detail, ensuring listeners are captivated by both the intimate struggles of Nora's heart and the broader social commentary. The audiobook format heightens immersion, pulling audiences into whispered confessions, haunting memories, and the quiet triumph of survival. By the conclusion, Nora's story affirms that while institutions sought to erase her, her resilience and humanity remain indelible. The Girl Behind the Gates proves that history's darkest chapters must be remembered, and that survival itself is a form of victory. Major themes: stigma and shame. Unwed pregnancy leads to institutionalization. Institutional cruelty. Psychiatric hospitals as prisons for women. Resilience and survival. Nora's spirit endures decades of confinement. Historical injustice.